for Oriskany Central School as they became New York State's champions of Class D. Chris Mahoney is the head coach from Oriskany. Chris, good morning. Thanks for coming on.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
I mean, you know, you've got ESPN calling, you've got Fox Sports, NBC Sports. This is a big deal. It really is a huge deal. We appreciate you taking the time here this morning. And what about the three-pointers? I mean, your team was in sync both Friday and Saturday.
Yeah, you know, we could have asked for a better 2 days for us, and I was really happy how our kids came out. It really was the perfect storm. And we talked about all year that when we clicked, we would be a scary team, and you know, what better way to have it than have it in a final game to finally click fully as a team.
Well, and to be able to be, you set a record, right? A record for three-pointers?
Yeah, it was a New York State tournament record for three-pointers.
Wow. And how many was that total?
15.
15 three-pointers. Wow.
Incredible.
Man, you talk about clicking. That is the perfect storm. I mean, how do you, as a coach, have you ever seen it happen just like that?
I mean, you know, at times, you know, there was points where during the year that we did play, you know, to our potential, but not to that maximum. And, you know, to have it be in that game, it was just a great feeling for everybody.
Talk about some of your players that really were instrumental here, and your team that will go down as historic for Oriskany Central.
I mean, it really starts with the 7 seniors. You know, I couldn't have asked for anything more out of them, and for the past 3 years that they've been putting in the time and, you know, dedication to get to this point. And with players, you know, Ryan Schmadel has been, you know, a 4-year starter on the varsity team, and he finished his career with over 1,750 points. So it's not too shabby of a career for a high school player.
Yeah, wow.
He really, you know, set the tone for us, you know, for the past few years. And then it goes off to our point guard, Marcus Smithling, who really, he took control of the team this year. He's taken a lot of flack over the past 3 years, and that's going to happen being the point guard. A lot of times he gets yelled at more than anybody because he's pretty much the quarterback of the team. But he really became the court general this year, and you know, he really stepped up in that final game. And some of the threes he was in, they were, I guess you'd say, Steph Curry range.
Wow.
And then there was Anthony Warcup, who ended up being the MVP, and there was a kid that really put a lot of time in the past few years, and he really, you know, turned his career around, you know, coming in as a sophomore and had some problems, and he really put a lot of time in, and academically his grades improved. So to see a turnaround in a kid like that, it's a great feeling as a coach. And then our starting lineup rounded out with Seamus Lasher and Kyle Liddy, who were also seniors, and both of them did things defensively and on the glass that really took us to the next level.
And you know, you're in a situation where you're going to lose quite a few seniors. What does that leave you for next year?
We got a lot, you know, I would say a lot coming back next year, though.
Yeah. Even
though we're losing 7 seniors, we got Ricky Phelps, who I coined as our 6th starter this year, who was a sophomore and really stepped up in big places this year. And when we needed it in times, he came through in big spots. You know, he's got ice in his veins, so getting a player like that back is always well. And something that not many people know, we lost this year was Ryan Enos as a player who's a junior, and he possibly could have been a starter, but he tore his ACL last year during baseball. And if we would have had him this year, it might have been even scarier.
Wow.
He's actually more, he would have been more of the point guard, and Marcus probably would have been more of a shooting guard. And so we're really expecting a lot out of him next year for basketball. And then we got some other younger kids coming up. So I wouldn't say so much as rebuilding next year as revamping.
Wow, that's really a good position to be in.
Again, Chris, congratulations. I want to ask about the matchups you faced this weekend. I believe I read one of the games, I think it was the championship game. You played a kid who was 6'7", 6'5", and 6'4", and nobody in your lineup is really in that neighborhood. What was that like this weekend?
You know, we knew it was going to be a challenge for us, but we knew that we had the athleticism over them. So that was something that we really wanted to use to our advantage. And I was really happy with how the kids, you know, played that game, and they didn't look at the heights as, you know, a bad side to us. They used it, you know, they still went at it to play our game. And that was something that I was really impressed with, because they really did have the height advantage. But we knew to, you know, if we wanted to win that game, that we had to get out and run and stick some threes, and that's what we did.
It's got to be hard too. I mean, you know, it's not like you're playing college ball or you're in the NBA where you kind of you kind of know who they're playing, you know all the teams, you know all the players involved. In this case, you're coming across these teams that you don't know, so you really don't know how good they are, and you got to be even questioning yourself a little bit, saying, "Man, we're undefeated. I knew we beat a really tough New York Mills, but at the same time, what if the competition is better there?" You're going in kind of blind.
Yeah, there really is the fear of the unknown.
Yeah.
And, you can get a lot of video on other teams, especially with, media today and
right.
And helps out. But it definitely is, there's that fear of the unknown. And for the kids, it's a tough feeling. But with the group we had this year, they didn't look at it like that. They kind of, just went into it as it was just another day at the office. And they knew that, they put a lot of hard work in, and that if they played, to their potential, that they would, in the end, come out as winners.
Well, as they say, reigning three-pointers in Glens Falls, and a final of Oriskany, 79-54 over Mariah Central for the state championship. Coach, and
25-point win.
Man, Coach, to you and to everybody out there and all the players and everybody, congratulations. What a great season.
Thank you very much.
All right, thanks for taking the time this morning.
Thank you, and have a good day.
All right, 7:16. Here's Christine with an update right now at WIBX. Good morning, Christine.
Good morning. Democratic presidential candidate Bernie Sanders says Republican frontrunner Donald Trump is a pathological liar. A Maryland police officer dead after being ambushed outside of a police station, and almost 20 people recovering this morning after an Amtrak train derailed in Kansas.
No, you're a pathological liar. That's kind of how this whole thing is going. Mm-hmm. One calls him one thing, and the other says, no, you are. Sounds like something out of a playground. Today, we're looking at rain, 43 tonight, 36 the low. We might get a little mixed precipitation in. Tomorrow, it warms up to 53 with cloudy skies. Currently, 41. John Zogby coming up next to talk about the big Super Tuesday tomorrow. It's a big primary day. We'll get into that one. And also, just down the road is the New York primary, which will actually, for the first time, I don't know, since the 70s, actually mean something. We'll talk about that with John Zogby coming up next on WIBX.